Undirected team. How's it going, y'all? How is it going? Y'all are the best audience on the internet. It's not even close. I am Dotsale, the undirected guy. Okay, so real quick before we get into it, you see the videos queued up right now. This is about a 16-minute video. It's actually 16 minutes exactly. We're not gonna really skip ahead. I'll pause throughout the video, not too much, just kind of on certain points or whatever that kind of jump out. So pause, police. We're watching the New York City Police Department, so put your handcuffs up. Oh, stop pausing the video. I can't take it. Stop pausing the video. Let it play. Y'all gotta learn YouTube. And I will watch your videos too, okay? I will absolutely watch your videos. But so I'm gonna put part 1 to this so you can catch up, because we've already done the first part where we basically had Quintisha, I think I'm saying her name right, Quintisha Epps part of the video, this woman right below me right here. We had her part already where she came out against the chief. We called him the chef in the first video. So definitely before you watch this, you can reference that first video. You don't have to though, but it would make a little more sense if you haven't been following the video. If you have been following the story, then this is the latest installment of the story where Jeff Maddrey came out with his side of the story, and his attorney is very confident. You see this guy right here on the podium. And so it's going to be interesting. We're going to get into it right now, and we'll try to keep this video probably about like under 25 minutes. We'll see how it goes. All right, let's do it.
Ordinance, and now he is speaking alongside his attorney right now. Let's listen in.
We got audio. Unmute them.
This stuff we can't tell you because we are anticipating litigation in the civil context, but there is a lot we want to tell you to set the record straight, because there's a lot out there in the media that is just not correct or is only telling half of the story, and that's why we called this press conference. So thank you for being here so that we can set the record straight as best we can. Jeff Maddrey started off in the NYPD as a traffic agent. In his over 34 years with the NYPD, he worked himself up from traffic agent to police officer to sergeant to lieutenant, all the way up to the highest ranking uniformed member of the NYPD, chief of department. That was about 2 years ago. He's credited for saving this city during the George Floyd riots. In the last 2 years as chief of department, he's driven down violent crimes, shootings, homicides. Through his work in supervising the operations of the approximately 33,500 uniformed police personnel of this city. He's a beloved member of every community he served, community he lives in, and if you ask any cop, they'll tell you he's a cop's cop. Last Friday,
I just want to fact check him real quick. Now, this is just off my first Google search, but it says, as of 2022, New York City has a murder rate of 6.3 per 100,000. This makes the Big Apple one of the safer large cities in the country. Overall crime rates continue to go down in New York City. New data released in late 2023, when Maddrey was chief, shows an overall decrease in crime, a drop of 4.1% compared to the prior year. It's right here. It's right here. All I did was Google is crime up in New York City. I just wanted to see what's going on with that. So, you know, besides like people getting incinerated on subways and stuff like that, you know, it looks like crime is going down. Okay.
December 20th, there was a complaint filed in the Office of Employment Opportunities setting forth certain allegations by a Lieutenant Quintisha Epps against Chief Maddrey. Those allegations included sexual abuse, taking advantage of her fragile situation, and using overtime to pay for sexual favors. We can tell you now, those allegations are a lie. They're not true. We deny every aspect of them.
Okay, I want to reference what he's talking about Quintisha Epps' situation. So, as far as I know, and I don't think this is even alleged, she had cancer, and that's the reason that she ended up as a lieutenant on desk duty. She didn't serve on the streets. I don't know if it was for her whole career, but for definitely the latter part, she's been on desk duty basically as a lieutenant, making $164,000 a year, $400,000 with overtime over the last couple of years as far as we know. But basically when she had cancer, she fell on hard times because it's very expensive to fight cancer in the medical system. So basically she got to a point where she needed an influx of cash, and the chief at that point was to prey on her and take advantage of her situation, needing money, and then use that to basically facilitate this whole overtime thing. So that's what he's referring to. This is what she's saying no. Okay, so this is her side of the story. Not confirming this is true, but that's what he's talking about.
We'll tell you right now that Lieutenant Epps, since October of this year, has been under investigation by the Internal Affairs Bureau of the NYPD for putting in for overtime she never completed. So she's under investigation for stealing time and putting in for overtime that she never worked. Now, Lieutenant Epps got caught with her hand in the cookie jar and is trying to deflect her wrongdoing by making these allegations against Chief Maddrey in the hopes that she'll get away with part or all of her scheme. However, the truth is, Lieutenant Epps had a consensual adult relationship, albeit for a short time, with Jeff.
What?
Oh my God, I fucking hate myself right now. Stop.
Come on, man, this is crazy.
And we have tons of evidence by way of text messages, photographs, videos, phone records, and X-rated and racy videos and photographs from Lieutenant Epps, who is a self-professed swinger.
Whoa! What the?
Oh, the humanity!
And we have all this evidence because she sent it to Chief Maddrey in her attempts to have him begin a relationship with her.
We kept the files.
Now, going to the overtime aspect of this case, we want to set the record straight so that everyone understands how overtime works in the NYPD.
What do you mean?
There is a system of checks and balances in place so that overtime can't be stolen. But let me tell you right now, Chief Maddrey is not a part of that checks and balance system. Chief Maddrey manages the day-to-day operations of 33,500 police officers in their fight on crime.
Damn.
Okay? Now, when a police officer or a member of the NYPD puts in for overtime, they have to fill out what's called a slip. That slip has to be signed by a supervisor. That supervisor is never a chief. There are people within chiefs' offices who are tasked with making sure that slips are appropriate and have to be approved. And that's where you see the bottom where they sign it. And here is the back of it, where a commanding officer has to approve it.
We're not using tablets for
Jeff
this?
had a commanding officer of the chief of department's office. He is not the commanding officer. Okay? Jeff never approves, assigns, or gives overtime. Lots of people in the chief of department's office made overtime because they legitimately worked it. In fact, last year, there were 415 members of the NYPD that made over $100,000 in overtime. Okay? If there is an issue with how that's billed or approved, that's not Jeff's responsibility. Now, Lieutenant Epps,
Well, 15% of the
in
total number of
2023
employees.
made about $200,000 in overtime.
He really got the whole slides
and she knew
already.
she was being investigated. She applied to retire on December 16th. That same day, she attended the chief of department's Christmas party along with 40 of her colleagues, where she was smiling and thanking everyone for the cordial, congenial work environment they had. She even texted that night to the chief her gratitude. 2 days later, the Internal Affairs Bureau, we believe, suspended her for the issue with her overtime, which the decision to suspend her had nothing to do with Chief Maddrey. He didn't have a hand in it or a decision. And now she claims she was suspended in retaliation for a complaint. But guess what? The complaint was 2 days later.
Come on, man.
So I'm not sure what complaint she's referring to. But he had nothing to do with her suspension. And we know that her suspension for improperly putting in for overtime predates any allegations that she has against the chief. We know she's being investigated for January, February, March, April, May of 2023. Her allegations start in June.
Ooh.
Nani? Drake?
Flawless victory.
They said the timelines don't add up. They said she was already being investigated and trying to throw the chief under the bus. She's trying to throw the chief under the bus. The chief said, I'm going to get my lawyer. She said, the chief said, look, you make $400,000 a year getting false overtime, but me, the chef, you know how much I make as the NYPD chief? I grinded since I was 18 years old. I started as a traffic cop in 1991. I worked my way to be a street officer. I worked my way up to the highest level possible in the NYPD. You don't think I ain't got a pension looming? You don't think I ain't making like $600,000-$700,000 a year? You don't think I know how to manipulate the system to add a couple of extra zeros to my bank account as the chef? Okay. Yep. I'm gonna hire this guy right here, and he gonna break everything down for me. I just got to sit here and look cute. Well, maybe I'll take back the last part.
So, even though she claims retaliation for a complaint, she filed a complaint on December 20th. And it was co-signed by the same lawyer who in the past has unsuccessfully sued Jeff for a plaintiff named Tabitha Foster.
You got other allegations,
Halfway
Jeff?
through the Tabitha Foster case,
What do you mean?
Attorney Sanders ditched his client and ran for the hills. She got other attorneys, but that case was dismissed, and she now has to pay costs for bringing her meritless case. Perhaps that lawyer had something to do with Lieutenant Epps' sudden about face. I don't know, but time will tell, because we are prepared to litigate every issue. Now,
look at the button that is the chief's suit jacket. Doesn't it look like it's under a lot of stress? Right? Like his suit jacket looks like it's trying to escape, like it's trying to figure out, like, you know, them threads is pulling right now. You look at the guy over there on the other side. You know, his jacket looks like it's chilling. Like he got a little bit of slack there. The chief said, "Man, I'm trying to get a slim fit, even though I'm built like, give me someone." Is Barry Sanders a big dude? Yeah. Jerome Bettis, I don't know. I'm picking football players. They're probably in a little better shape than Chief. But yeah, man, a lot of stress on that suit. We're gonna get to the lawyer in a minute. Damn, I paused him at a terrible spot. Let me play this video.
for those of you who've seen in the media that Jeff somehow was banished to Georgia by his wife, we're not in Georgia, we're in New York. Jeff is here. And why do I bring that up? I bring that up because it seems like writing stories is more important than the truth. And somehow reporters think it's okay to call Jeff a sexual predator. Nothing is further from the truth.
Defamation of character.
He's never hurt or harmed anyone in his life. And that Tabitha Foster case had no legal merit, and although it took 6 years, was completely dismissed. And that's the only other legal action involving allegations of any type of sexual conduct.
Judge, my physical and mental, my physical as well as my mental fitness.
The outpouring of support from the community has been overwhelming, the communities he used to serve. Yet others are deciding to pour onto the false allegations. There's a Captain Gabrielle Walls who's been suing the New York Police Department for some months now. She's a captain. And she decided, and in her filings prior to current, never mentioned a single word about Chief Maddrey. But she recently amended her complaint, and her attorney said, we're adding Chief Maddrey and former Commissioner Caban to get attention.
So basically, what they're saying that the captain did was do a Me Too. When one woman comes out, then, you know, the floodgates open, right? So when he says she amended it, basically she had nothing to do with Chief. But now that Quintisha comes out, she like, you know what? Let's add to that and let me siphon a little bit of what. I ain't letting Quintisha get all the money out of Chef. I'm gonna need some of that. We sharing him. Quintisha, we're gonna share Hefe.
And now she believes she can call him a sexual predator. We don't think so. Chief Maddrey never worked with Walls. He only ran into her a few times, mostly at Christmas parties where she was there with her husband. Seems she's upset that she's not been promoted, but there may be other people who are better qualified. It may be that she's undeserving. We don't know. But what we do know is that Jeff has never laid a finger on her or even looked at her the wrong way. Now, Jeff resigned and retired upon hearing of this last meritless complaint because he's been through this before. The city has enough going on without these allegations swirling around the chief of department. He's given 34 years of his life to the NYPD, yet's been repeatedly sued meritlessly. And for those of you who know, he's now a practicing attorney, completed his law degree while in the NYPD.
Wow.
He's got one grandchild and another one on the way. And he reached his boiling point. But now, without the constraints of the NYPD, he's going to take the gloves off and fight for his good name going forward. And he looks forward to proving that these allegations are nothing more than an attempt to skirt criminal liability. We thank you all for coming, and we're not going to be taking any questions at this time. However, we will be contacting one or two of you for one-on-one interviews in the near future, okay? Thank you very much.
Have you talked to the Manhattan DA's office? Just give everyone.
So the lawyer right here, he's got you know, some people got the belly overhang with their, you know, over the belt buckle, the belly overhang over the belt buckle. But this guy's got the neck overhang. So over this part right here, the neck overhangs over his collar, right? But then the chief, he got the back neck overhang. Like you look right here, you can see that right there. He got the back neck. You see the back neck overhang. Let me zoom in on the back neck overhang. Look at that back neck overhang he's got. Can't see the back of his collar because he got the hot dog. So, but then the lawyer, you see him right here. He got the neck overhang, right? The neck overhang over the collar right there. Yep. Well, we're gonna go on the undirected perspective. We're gonna go in there. We'll go into dark. We'll go dark mode. This is Gotham City, New York City. police chief getting cooked, resigning. So they said Quintisha Epps, when she resigns, which is still under review, that's why she tried to resign really quick, because it takes like 30 days for it to kick in. But she'll be set to make $16,000 a month for the rest of her natural life, as far as I know, for her pension and whatever else she gets, 401k, all that combined. Now, Maddrey, I would assume, is getting more than that because he's been working longer than her and making more money for a lot longer time. I did not know he got his license to perform as an attorney. So I wonder if he's gonna represent himself, or how far he's gonna go. But he said he's willing to fight this tooth and nail. He's not giving his pension up to these bloodsuckers, is what he's saying. What do y'all think, though? I mean, I've kind of talked about it a little bit. I guess the only thing I would really say is I want to see the evidence. He said he's got the text messages, but he showed none of that. He comes up with all these fancy boards and stuff like that. You see it right here. He's got this, but where the text messages at, bruh? Why you ain't put that on the damn big ass board? We want to see the swinger. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. We want to see the swinger activity. Where's that at? You showing all of this. Show the text messages. We want to see in her lingerie. Well, actually, we don't want to see that. But you can show the texts between these two unedited. I want to see the whole thread. We got time. You want to stand up here for 16 minutes, so I'm gonna need to see these receipts that he's talking about before we can really understand what's going on. But as it goes now, they both threw their preliminary jabs at each other. She got the first blow off, and now he's countered, and we're gonna see, if he connects or if she's able to slip, duck, come up with an uppercut and knock the chief out. Or, if the chief can land a power shot. So it's a boxing match between these two, and they're gonna come after the chief. Now again, the reason why he resigned, I'm pretty sure that Mayor Adams put pressure on him. He said, the second Mayor Adams said, "Oh my God, I can't handle not another scandal attached to me. Chief, you got to resign for me, buddy. You got to, man." Now the last thing is the chief said that he was implicit or involved with this woman at certain points. So the timelines are going to be very interesting. Based off of what they're saying is that when they were intimately involved, it was only after the allegations of the time card fraud. So I guess the text messages and the correspondence will prove that. And they're basically saying what Quintisha said was after that as well. So based off her own words, but we're going to have to hear from her. I'm pretty sure she's queuing up a response to this. So we're going to continue to follow this. And when she does respond, we're going to follow it. We're going to see what's going on. I am interested, as you are, team. We're going to leave it at this. What did we get to? Oh, we got 28 minutes. We kept it under 30 minutes. It's about what we expected. Team, I appreciate y'all. Direct that tape. You're the best audience on YouTube. I am Dotsale, the undirected guy. And I'm out of here. Till next time. I wonder though, man, there's a lot of money flowing through the New York City Police Department. Man. But the cost of living out there is high though. You kind of have to make that type of money just to survive out there. Or you're going to be on the streets. So be out there living with Master Splinter in the sewers and stuff like that. I do want to go out there and visit New York though. Is New York as good as they say it is? As a tourist spot? Let me know. That might be my next vacation destination. All right, team.